What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another NFL video with your boy. In this video, we are breaking down the core and the way we like to play this Thursday night showdown beginning week 4. Week 3 was amazing for us. Now is the time. Greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. Make sure you do that before the Thursday night showdown. That way you get Thursday night showdown, college football, Sunday showdown, Monday night showdown, all that good stuff. So make sure you do that. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Make sure you drop a like down below, comment anything in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. This Thursday showdown feels sexy to me. I have landed on some pretty beautiful versions already, and I'm extremely excited about the potential for this Thursday night showdown. It is a good one. So let's make somebody a millionaire this Thursday night, and let's get straight to it. All right, here we go. I'm not going to keep up too much of your time. You guys know me. When it comes to the showdowns, the first thing I like to talk to y'all about is how do you expect this game to go? The game is in Cincinnati. They are over 7-point favorites. I see Cincinnati getting up and using a ton of Joe Mixon. So Joe Mixon is my favorite guy to play at captain. He has been my favorite Cincinnati player to put in this spot because Joe Mixon's going to be involved regardless of the game script, but especially with the game script that I'm expecting here and them being up and running the ball a ton, Joe Mixon's going to thrive here in this situation. So I really love Joe Mixon. If you want to get really different and you want to go with the value play of the slate, I'm going to go ahead and put him in right now just because he is the value guy of the slate. Auden Tate. T. Higgins being out, Auden Tate's going to be the value of this showdown. He played 57% of offensive snaps week 3. He didn't do much with it. I believe he only got like one target, but that's fine because he's only $400. So Auden Tate at only 400 is a fantastic option on this showdown slate. And when we have starter value of 400 like this, it's definitely something that I recommend taking. And especially when there's a player missing, it's a fantastic matchup against a bad Jaguars defense. This is a fantastic spot for Auden Tate for sure. And like I said, he played 57% of offensive snaps week 3. He's just going to play a solid bit, and at 400, he's a solid option. Another solid value option on this slate is going to be Carlos Hyde at 1.8. Just because he's been getting like that 5 to 10 carry amount, which obviously I love Auden Tate more, but Carlos Hyde was the value guy I was looking to before that, just because I mean he might get involved in the pass game as well here at 1.8. I really like him. But anyways, the reason why I was bringing up value is because another way that you could go is put Auden Tate at the captain if you're super duper risky and willing to risk it all. If Auden Tate ends up getting in the end zone and you have him at captain, that could be a great scenario. I am leaning Joe Mixon because I do believe that Joe Mixon is the way to play this one. But Auden Tate is a fantastic value, and if you even want to put him at captain to be able to get all the rest of the studs in this game, I don't hate it. All right. Next up, Marvin Jones Jr. So, with me expecting Cincinnati to get up early and them easily be able to control this game, I expect Jacksonville to throw a ton. And Marvin Jones Jr. has really been excelling in this Jacksonville offense, which we should have expected. Marvin Jones is a beast, plain and simple. He's an amazing wide receiver, and he's getting a ton of snaps, man. 97% of offensive snaps week 3. Okay? And this is a dude who has got incredible hands. He is a great wide receiver, and he's playing on a team that's going to be behind most of this game, throwing to try to keep up. Marvin Jones is in a fantastic option, and he's another guy that I have considered and made versions with him at captain as well. Um, Obviously, with this type of game script, Trevor Lawrence is in play for me at 10-4. I still like Joe Burrow because he can do it a little bit with his legs as well. Jamar Chase is great. We have a good bit of options, good bit of spend up options that feel good to me on this slate. But my favorite way to go is Joe Mixon at captain because, like I said, game script should be very beneficial for Joe Mixon here. He should be running the ball a ton. He should get 20 plus carries probably in this situation. It's a fantastic matchup against the Jaguars defense that has not been very good against the run. So I love Joe Mixon a lot. He is my favorite captain, but you can just play around with versions. But in my opinion, Joe Mixon, Auden Tate, and Marvin Jones Jr. are locks for this Thursday showdown. Regardless of what you do with the rest of the spots, these are guys that I believe you probably need to win that million because Auden Tate is only 400 in a fantastic position. Marvin Jones is the main receiver that gets targeted here on this Jacksonville offense, and they're going to be playing from behind most of this game. And it's just a fantastic spot. All right, let's talk about some other guys. Really, really, really love James Robinson as well. It's a good matchup against Cincinnati's run D. Now, with them being behind, James Robinson should see more targets in the pass game as well, which is a plus on DK as well with full point PPR. So I do like James Robinson. He's going to get heavily involved in the pass game here. Any receivers for Jacksonville, I'm game for. DJ Chark, Chenault, I'm game for all of them. I just leave Marvin Jones number one, and he is locked when it comes to that side. But Chark, Chenault, if Marvin Jones ends up being incredibly high owned and you want to get lower owned, going a Chark or Chenault is completely fine. I believe Chark has the better matchup. Let me pull up my notes for this matchup here, individually matchup wise. Okay, so when we're looking at Jacksonville, all right, when we look at Jacksonville, the main spot you want to target is Eli Apple, which is the guy Marvin Jones is going to see predominant, most of the time. Marvin Jones lines up on the right side predominantly, and with him being on the right side, he's going to see mostly Eli Apple, but Eli Apple will go on the left and right. But either way, all of these receivers are fine in this matchup against Cincinnati. It's a bad secondary, so Chark, Chenault, and Jones are all fine. I would go in this order: Marvin Jones 1, DJ Chark 2, Laviska Shenault 3. All right, that is the order for me on that one. Now let's check the Cincinnati side of this game. All right, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and Auden Tate. So, honestly, in this offense, I like all three as well. The order, obviously, Auden Tate is locked for me. But when it comes to total fantasy points wise, it probably will be Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Auden Tate in that order. Really, really like Jamar Chase. He's going against Shaquille Griffin on the outside. The perimeter in general is a good spot to target here. Auden Tate is in a solid spot here, man, because at the end of the day, Auden Tate is a he's a big receiver. He's 6'5". Auden Tate is 6'5". He's 3 inches taller than Tyson Campbell, which isn't huge, but he is 3 inches taller. Now, if they move Tyler Boyd around at all, which Tyler Boyd normally is in the slot, which is another solid matchup, Tyler Boyd against Trey Herndon. Either way, all of these guys are fantastic. I mean, this is going to be an nice little offensive game here. I could see if you wanted to go Cincinnati's defense, Joe Mixon at captain, Cincinnati's defense. Cincinnati's defense might be able to do a little something at home with the rookie quarterback trying to play catch up at the end. But I have enough faith in some of these Jacksonville guys that I think it's just going to be a solid scoring game, and I don't think it's going to be too crazy on one side. But I do see Cincinnati up most of the game and using a ton of Joe Mixon. But yeah, so on the Jacksonville side, in the order, Marvin Jones, Chark, and then Chenault. And then on the Cincinnati side, we have Chase, Boyd, Auden Tate, obviously. But Auden Tate being only 400, he's more of the lock than Chase and Tyler Boyd are, in my opinion, because of price difference. I mean, look at that. All three are starting receivers. Chase is 10-2, Tyler Boyd is 7-4, Auden Tate is 400. So when you get an opportunity like that, you take it. What else are we looking like? Let's see. What else? What else? What else? Anything else? So a situation to keep an eye on is Dan Arnold just came to Jacksonville. Now we gotta keep an eye on this because Dan Arnold is a guy that was getting okay targets so far this season. And he is a guy that Jacksonville might want to use heavily in the pass game if he, in fact, is going to start and be their starting tight end. You have to kind of pay attention to this. He is a solid receiving tight end, though. And they did have James Shaughnessy on injured reserve, so they're a little thin at that position. So Dan Arnold, keep an eye on him at 4-4. He is also an option. With Jacksonville being behind a lot of this game, they're going to have to throw somewhere. So with Shaughnessy being on IR and then Jacksonville being pretty thin at this position, if Dan Arnold does start and he's going to be the main man there at tight end, then he is a solid option at 4-4 with them being down. Outside of that, yeah, I mean, Carlos Hyde is a solid option. I don't love him as much now that we have the value of Auden Tate with Higgins officially out. I don't like Hyde as much. I was liking a good bit of Hyde because I expected him to get involved in the pass game a little bit, but now that Auden Tate is value, he's pretty much the way to go. But I mean, this Thursday showdown is pretty self-explanatory to me. All right, I'm not gonna stay too crazy long and forever. Let's look at snap counts real quick. See if anything sticks out to us. So, Jacksonville wide receiver wise, Marvin Jones 97% of the offense week 3, Chark 87, Chenault 65. That's a big drop down from Chark to Chenault. Chenault is a game he is a solid receiver who can do big things, and he's a game-changing receiver. Like, he can have those big, those big moments. But Marvin Jones and Chark are the two guys that I'm focusing on that Jacksonville side due to the amount of snap count they're on, and it's just a big difference between Jones and Chark to Chenault. All right, let's check the Cincinnati side. Look at their snap count again. On the Cincinnati side of things, we have Jamar Chase at the top of the list, played 83%, and then 79%, and then 57% for Auden Tate. You have Thomas, who played 21%, but no reason to do that when you got Auden Tate at 57%. Let's see, what else? Let's check running back. Joe Mixon is heavily leading the pack at Cincinnati, obviously, at the running back spot. Joe Mixon's played 74% of offensive snaps. P. Ryan's not very involved. I wouldn't get too cute and go P. Ryan or Evans. Not too interested in that one. Let's look at the Jacksonville running back side. On Jacksonville, we have James Robinson, 59%, Carlos Hyde, 34%. That was part of the reason I had some, before Auden Tate, before Higgins was rolled out, I had some Carlos Hyde love just because I was looking for a decentish value option to open things up on this showdown. And he played 34% of offensive snaps week 3. James Robinson, 59% of offensive snaps. That's not something I love. That does bother me a little bit. But in this game, I expect him to get heavily involved in the pass game as well. He is a guy that they target in the pass game, and he is a decent receiving running back and should be able to do damage when they're behind, garbage time especially, and be able to do his thing. You know what I mean? And he gets all that goal line work. So James Robinson is a solid option. So, plain and simple, this is the core, guys. Joe Mixon, Auden Tate, Marvin Jones with this game script. I do like Joe Burrow. I love Trevor Lawrence. If I had to side with one of them, it's a tough one. I mean, I've talked about it with the game script. I love Trevor Lawrence, but I mean, Joe Burrow's probably going to be able to do whatever the hell he wants against Jacksonville's defense. So it just depends kind of what your builds go with. I don't have, I'll be completely transparent with you about this. I don't have a ton of Jamar Chase, solely on the fact that there's a good bit of receivers I'm solid on, like Tyler Boyd. I really like Tyler Boyd with the amount of targets that he should be able to get here at only 7.4. He's almost 3K cheaper than Chase. I know Chase has been that home run ball guy, that touchdown guy for Cincinnati, and I completely understand that. But Tyler Boyd in this PPR format, at home in Cincinnati, out of that slot in a good matchup against Herndon, 7.4 is just a really good price for Tyler Boyd. So, yes, I do like Tyler Boyd more than Chark, but they're fairly close, but I do prefer Tyler Boyd out of the slot. Marvin Jones is my favorite receiver, point per dollar wise in general, and I think he has the potential to be the highest scoring receiver on this entire slate. And Auden Tate's locked his value. So pretty much we've touched on everything we can. I mean, obviously, if you land on that range of the kickers, then you can go McPherson. He's a decent option. I prefer the favored kickers because most of the time when a Jacksonville kicker is behind, they're not gonna be kicking a lot. So I'm not trying to play much Jacksonville kicking because they're not going to kick a lot when they're behind in this game, especially if they're getting blown out. They're gonna go for it. So McPherson's in a fantastic option. I do prefer the home kicker when choosing a kicker. So at 3.8, I do prefer McPherson if you do want to go that route. But yeah, keep an eye on Dan Arnold's situation. Bengals defense is if you want to. I do think Jacksonville is going to be able to get some garbage time and possibly hurt that Bengals D. But if they can get a touchdown, hey, they're giving you a solid floor. And that's about it, y'all. Thank you for joining me as always, man. Good luck, man. Let's get somebody a milli. I will be live on this YouTube channel at 6 p.m. Central. All right, 6 p.m. Central, I will be live. I'll be talking over this showdown, answering questions, stuff like that, and we'll even talk a little week 4. I'll be live for about 30, 45 minutes or so. So make sure you come hang out with me then, and let's get it, man. Let's kill this slate. Let's get week 4. Let's run it back from week 3. Amazing week 3. We won all the showdowns and the main slate on week 3, so it was a good one. Let's get it week 4. Peace, y'all.